What's up, Zoners? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the lucky bastard. You will coming at you live from the West Coast. And this is the Fantasy Red Zone. Today, I've got an Excel file, man. It's going to show us all of the best and the worst schedules for fantasy football playoffs. Weeks 15 through 17. If you play week 18, I can't help you. All right. Good luck with that. If you're a manager, change that shit. Jason, we also have our studs and duds, which is our smashes and crashes. Overperformers, underperformers from this last week. We explained to you why, if you can expect it to keep on going or to stop immediately. So before we get into all that, man, we also have news. I forgot about that. But we need help, man. This show needs help. Just look at us, man. I'm wearing layers of clothing just to stay warm, dog. This shit's crazy. I'm burning cardboard to stay warm, Jason.
Yeah.
That's a lie. The first thing was truth. The last thing was lie. Jason, please tell the public how they can help this show.
My polo is actually blue, but I've washed it so many times it's faded to red. If you guys made it this far and enjoy two friends talking about fantasy football, then please hit the subscribe, press the like. We like the likes. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Do you have any players in these fantasy playoffs that are going to have a good matchup or a bad matchup? Let us know in the comments. We're also on the radio on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and we also got a Patreon. Thanks,
Jason.
guys.
Last night, I needed James Cook to score 3 points or fewer. That did not happen. So, playoff hopes are fading fast, Jason. I need to win next week and hopefully score more points than somebody else. All right, let's get in. Jason, you're doing fine, right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Just making sure. All right, man. Hey, let's get into the news for yous. First up, man, Jordan Mason to IR. Did you know that, Jason?
Dude, did you see me hit up our league chat? And I was all, who's got Jordan Mason? When Christian McCaffrey walked out and everyone was like, he tore an Achilles, he tore his ACL, and all this. I'm like, who's got Jordan Mason? And then today I saw that he went to IR. So I'm like, who's got Isaac Garendo?
Isaac Garendo.
And how much money do you have? How much
Spend it all. He's the number one waiver pickup. Pick him up. That's what you had. That's what you got to do. All right. So Jordan Mason IR, CMC PCL, and Jason. It is a 6-week recovery, so they're out of the playoffs, so it doesn't fucking matter. Done for the season. But hey, man, I do want to talk about. I think Christian McCaffrey, as far as a bust, I don't know, man. They fucked everybody over. People bet money on this stuff, man. As far as fantasy leagues and stuff, we drafted him, not knowing about an injury. That fool came back, got 300 yards, and got injured again. Literally, just railroaded your season if you held him. Plus, took up an IR spot all season long, Jason. So, probably the worst draft pick I can remember all time.
I think since Adrian Peterson got picked and then he got suspended for the whole year because he was using, he was disciplining his kid a little too hard.
You get the switch. The switch.
My mama used to do it to me. But yeah, dude. And the most frustrating thing about the Christian McCaffrey is, you were kind of aware of the injury, but you didn't know how bad it was leading up to the season. Christian McCaffrey. Well, if we had a game today, I'll play today.
Dude.
If we had a game tomorrow, I'm ready to go tomorrow. So you draft him because we believe in Christian McCaffrey. We like him. He's a good guy. But no, he's a liar. So, yeah, dude. Awful draft. Awful draft pick, man.
Yeah. And then Jason, speaking of awful draft picks, Kyle Pitts, 0 points. Jonnu Smith had what, dude? Fucking 100 yards. He had the 1,000,000 points. Arthur Smith and Russell Wilson just threw for 400 yards. I'm beginning to think that Kyle Pitts was the problem, Jason. He is just a bust. College film. I mean, people talk about Brock Bowers being the best prospect ever. It was like Kyle Pitts, dude, for a minute there. And he is an all-time bust.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, too. I want to get more insight of what you think.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny that he had 0 points. Jonnu did so well, and Arthur Smith did well. So I was fuck, dude.
You know what's crazy with Jonnu Smith? Because, I own him, and I'm like, dude, this is the week we could put him on smashes because he's going to lead tight end in scoring. But, dude, every week someone else gets 30 points while he's
I got Brock Bowers, dog. I'm the Brock Bowers owner here. All right?
Yeah.
And then, hey, Taysom Hill out for the season with a knee. I actually put him on. He had one of the best schedules moving forward in the playoffs. And then I forgot he fucked his knee up. So then I just had to put Saints tight ends. I did not have time. But yeah, hey, dude, the Saints throw to the tight ends more than anybody else in the league right now. So you should be picking up one of them. And then Jason Harbaugh says McConkey. So I felt like a genius, Jason. I traded Debo and ETN for Ladd McConkey and Thielen. And man, both of them went off, Ladd McConkey and Thielen. But yeah, now McConkey's injured, so it really doesn't fucking matter. All right. So he's working through some things. When asked if he will play next week, he said, "We will see," Harbaugh said. So not looking good for McConkey. The week he goes off, he gets injured. Sucks. Next season, I will be picking up him in hopefully the 3rd round, but he probably goes 2nd.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Harbaugh, he plays hardball when it comes to the media and letting people know about injuries.
Who knows? We'll see, but I don't know, dude. They were out of that game. They really did need him, though, Jason. He had like a 70% target share, for God's sakes. It was insane. And then,
oh, yeah. He's like the one player that did well.
And then Jason Goedert, Dallas Goedert, to miss a week or 2 with a knee injury. He's listed as week to week. They say that he was actually an IR candidate. So Devonta Smith, if he comes back, he will get a ton of targets. But hey, Devonta Smith, Goddard out. That is not great. Saquon Barkley's going to have to catch 20 goddamn balls.
And you know what? He'll fucking do it.
He'll fucking do it. Okay, dude. I want to get into this right now. Let's get into strength of schedules, and then we'll get into the studs and the duds. I'm going to share a screen, Jason. Let me know if you can see this. If you can see what's going on here.
Ooh, looks pretty.
Is it pretty with the colors?
Yeah.
Fuck it. I don't care about that. Okay, man. So let's start off with the quarterbacks as far as best of. And I do want to say, man, Fantasy Toolbox, Jason, I went to their weeks 15 through 17 sorted by easiest schedule. They had Matthew Stafford as an easy schedule. That fool has one of the worst. I was like, Jets, Arizona, San Francisco. Is this like real? So yeah, don't just Google it and trust the website. Even Fantasy Pros, dude, I caught some errors on theirs as well. Errors on theirs. All right.
Errors on theirs.
And this is like, I just did this after work in a couple hours. If I had more time, I could have finally tuned it. But hey, some of the stuff I agreed with. The tight ends was a little bit rough. So first off, the quarterbacks, Jason, you spoke about this and it looks like it is true. Look at Will Levis's goddamn playoff schedule. So week 15, first column, week 16, week 17, I added up. So, Cincinnati gives up the 3rd most points. Indianapolis gives up the 12th most points. So you add up these points. Low scores is good. High scores is bad, Jason. So, dude, Levis, 16 total. Indianapolis is his hard matchup, dude. So Westbrook, Kanine, Ridley, everybody for him should be doing well.
Yeah, I picked him up this week because I got to use. Oh, he's got Jacksonville again in week 14. So he goes Jacksonville, Cincinnati, Colts, Jacksonville, Duval County. It's pretty sweet schedule. So yeah, I'm going to need him this week because Jaden Daniels is on a bye, but that's pretty crazy. I mean, do you really expect him to get like 30 points though? Like, I think
he's averaging like 19 or 20 over the span. So I would expect that. Which is, hey man, if I get 19 or 20 points for my quarterback, I'm loving life. So yeah, I think that he is very startable. He's a streamer for the rest of the season, Jason.
My concern is that those teams are also good at, or they're bad at running back scoring.
Oh, right.
Pollard. I know he's got one of the best.
Yeah. Well, he's not on this list, Jason. He's not on this list. There are some people with better schedules. The next up, so I kept on hearing about Tennessee, and I've heard about Tampa Bay's playoff schedule for a long time, Jason. And this is true still. So what do you think about Dallas's defense? They got back that guy that scored like 5 touchdowns last year. Blonde, and then Diggs. Bland. Is he injured for the Bland? Yeah, it's Bland. Is he injured for the season or is he coming back?
No, he should be coming back soon. I think so, we're talking about there's a chance he comes back this Monday, maybe. So
Dallas, man, it seems like their defense has been turning it around a little bit, but still. Baker, he gets Dallas. He gets Carolina, 2 of the best possible matchups. He is at the Chargers, which is not great, but it's still 21. They're 21st, so they're not lights out. So yeah, he gets 2 great matchups, Jason, to end the season. He's like he'll be on a lot of championship teams probably because he did well all season for you.
Yeah, that's good. And yeah, he's killing it. You're going to be playing him either way. So it's good that this guy who's been carrying your team's actually got a pretty great schedule in the playoffs.
Yeah, and then Jason, Bo Nix. All right, Bo Nix. Indianapolis, the Chargers is not great, but then he gets Cincinnati in the playoffs or in the playoff championships. So yeah, dude, he is going to be amazing in the championships when it matters, dude. Whoever goes against Cincinnati, even I expect Joe Burrow to score, I don't know, 28 points against Denver's defense at least. So yeah, they usually bring out the best in the opposing quarterbacks, Jason. And then, hey, dude, on to the worst schedules. Jared Goff has the worst schedule, Jason. Buffalo, 28th. At Chicago, 30th. And then at San Francisco, that's 20th. That's not bad at all. But, dude, he's got to go through Buffalo and Chicago in the winter, or Buffalo in the winter, and then Chicago's amazing defense.
Yeah, are you going to be afraid to play him, though?
No, because his offensive line's that great. So,
I mean, at least he's also home against Buffalo. He doesn't have to go Buffalo in that weather.
Oh, that's when I was thinking that. I was like, oh, man, Buffalo. I was thinking at Buffalo when I said that, but you're right. And then at Chicago in the bad weather. And we spoke about this. They just fired Matt Eberflus. Who knows how that secondary is going to perform, but I do not like starting quarterbacks against Chicago, Jason.
No, not at all.
And then on to the next one, Caleb Williams. He was on Fantasy Pros. I thought this was kind of bogus, but still, he does go against Detroit, and Detroit just smoked him for a half. I mean, I know he scored a lot of points, but it looked bad. So he's got to go against them again. He does get Minnesota, man. He killed Minnesota a couple weeks ago. And then at home versus Seattle. So right here, I know this is on a bad matchup, but this does not scare me too much. It's only Detroit. I would not want to start him against Detroit watching that last game. It was mostly, I don't know, man. There was a lot of adjustments in the second half, and he looked a lot better. But I think he had like 6 yards, dude, in the first half or something like that.
Yeah, he looked awful in the second.
And I was like, I don't want to do this. Because I started DJ Moore, and I was like, dude, this is fucking terrible.
I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this.
So, like, I get it. He did better in the second half, but I'm not banking on that again. All right, I would not want to start Caleb versus Detroit. And then Jason, again, Matthew Stafford. At San Francisco, those divisional games are always kind of weird there. And then at the Jets, I do not like that at all. And then Arizona's been playing way better defense. Like, over the last, 7 games, they've been one of the top defenses as far as passing yards allowed and everything else. So he actually does not have any good matchups. So all of these quarterbacks just don't have good matchups. That's what I was kind of noticing. Goff has terrible matchups, and these other quarterbacks just don't have any good matchups.
I think the one thing that will save Stafford is that he does have Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. Both of them healthy can hopefully get him the numbers if you're stuck playing Stafford.
Yeah. And
hopefully.
Yeah, Puka. I mean, Puka they had a bad week. And Puka was the one that had the touchdown and the yardage. So
yeah,
Jason,
the Rams had a bad week, and it was a good matchup for him. So,
jeez, dude. And then, hey, man, Breece Hall. If you're a Breece Hall owner, you better hope to God he stays healthy. All right, because he gets at Jacksonville, home against the Rams. We're on to the running backs, by the way, and at Buffalo. So 14 points, Jason. If you add all that up, so Jacksonville second best, Buffalo the third best matchup. The Rams have been sucking, man, as far as giving up points. They gave up, 100 yards to Alvin Kamara right there. So, yeah, Jason, Breece Hall owners, you better hold on tight.
The thing with him, he's been very inconsistent. Very inconsistent.
But, yeah, dude, I see these, and I think that he'll be all right. Buffalo still scares me, but, you have to run the ball against Buffalo because their secondary is so good. DeMar Hamlin's actually playing well. It's pretty crazy. He got that interception.
He's second on the team in tackles.
That's crazy. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, Jason, Buffalo, again, third best matchup. At Chicago, you have to run the ball against them. Then at San Francisco, dude, at San Francisco and Fred Warner, man, giving up the 6th most points to running backs this year. So Gibbs and Breece Hall both are in the teens here. They have amazing Will Levis style playoff schedules.
I think Gibbs, you're going to see a playoff championship winner with those 3 matchups.
Yeah, and to begin the year, I would have thought, oh, Buffalo, man, they're actually good at stopping the run because of Milano. Chicago, I don't want to run against them. And San Francisco, I don't want to run against them either. So trying to judge this in the beginning of the year is pretty shitty, Jason.
Yeah.
And there we go. Here you go, Jason. Bucky Irving, I know you love this, all right? At the Chargers, that's terrible, but then they get at Dallas, and then at home versus Carolina in the championships. Bucky Irving, dog. It's going to be a league winner. Championship week.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. It looks like, because I have Mike Evans. I don't know if he's on this list, but I got Mike Evans and Bucky Irvin on my team. It looks like the toughest matchup is going to be the first week going against the Chargers at Los Angeles. So
Carolina does not give up a lot of points, Jason, to wide receivers. So that is not actually a great matchup.
No, I gave up like 26 to Mike Evans.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying in general. I'm just saying in general. Mike Evans always does well in division, doesn't he? No, unless he goes against Lattimore. All right. Anyways, Jason, moving forward, on to the worst. We talked about this for 3 months. Swift at Minnesota, the second worst matchup, or the third worst matchup. At home versus Detroit, the second worst matchup. And then, great, dude. You get at home versus Seattle. Their defensive line's been killing it. So Swift is fucked.
And now you see why Tyler's been trying to tell you to trade this guy for the past month.
Dude, for 2 months. I think for 2 months.
Yeah, you should have sold this guy for hot.
He was hot shit, man, for a minute. And I was like, dude, just trade him. Just trade him, man. You could get so much.
Yep.
And then Jason Walker is not looking great either. He's been losing. I mean, ever since his injury, he had 3 good weeks or whatever. And now he's been like a flex running back play. And he gets to go against Green Bay, which is average. At home versus Minnesota, that's terrible. Then at Chicago, I actually kind of like that. So he just has one really bad matchup in the middle of playoffs.
At least he's home against Green Bay. You know, I think that can help him out. But yeah, if you could somehow survive going against that Vikings defense, it looks good in the championship. But good luck. I actually tried to trade for Walker earlier in the season. I actually sent the trade.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? Let me look at his playoff schedule. I looked at it and I was all, hell no. I hurry up and went back and denied it. I was all, nope. Cancel.
Yeah,
My bad.
They're playing all their NFC North games in like a 3-week stretch. That's crazy. And then Jason Ramondre Stevenson, man, at Arizona, they've been stopping the run and the pass. At Buffalo, he's got a great matchup. But then in the championship, dude, he's fucked. So Ramondre Stevenson on the championship, you should not even probably start him, all right? Because you need a special matchup to start him anyways, and not against the Chargers.
Yeah, like you said, Arizona's defense has been playing pretty well too, but he's behind the worst offensive line in the league. So it's hard to want to trust this guy in the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, and then Jason, on to the wide receivers, dog. Jacoby Myers, first up. This guy has an amazing schedule. At home versus Atlanta, at home versus Jacksonville, and then at New Orleans. So 7th most, 3rd most, 6th most, 16. This is that Breece Hall, Will Levis, Jahmyr Gibbs type of schedule, Jason.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at these numbers. I mean, it's great. Jacoby Myers, you know, with O'Connell back there, he's going to at least get like 10 targets between him and Bowers going to get 10 targets. Everybody else going to get like nothing. But it kind of sucks not seeing any big names on here. Like bigger names, I guess. Superstar names.
Yeah, well, all the superstar, cause I know, dude. But I was kind of liking the not superstar names because at least they're not the ones that are in and out of your lineup. You know, those are the ones that are in your lineup regardless. So I was like, at least that's going on. And there were some nobodies on this, but I just skipped them. You know, I only picked the fantasy relevant top 3.
Oh, okay.
Because like I forget who was it. I mean, it's not Parker Washington, but it's something similar to that. You know what I'm saying?
I think it was Brian Thomas, right? Didn't he have like
one of the better ones? But then I checked it out, and it's like, oh, the Jets and Tennessee and Las Vegas. Why the fuck are you on one of the better matchups, Fantasy Pros? I don't get it. So like, that's what I'm saying, dude. I had to go back and check this shit against what the Fantasy Pros were telling me. All right. So, anyways, Jacoby Myers best, Malik Neighbors, dude. Baltimore 2nd most, Atlanta again, great matchup, and then Indianapolis is in the middle of the pack. So 2 great matchups for Malik Neighbors. I would still start. I mean, he's been having great matchups, Jason, and he's been unstartable almost. So depends on who's the quarterback, and they don't have one.
Exactly. I mean, it sucks, right? Because he's got the talent, but he doesn't have the quarterback talent. So you start him and hope for the best.
If I like who they draft or whoever they bring in next year, I will be trying to get Malik Neighbors like in the 3rd round, hopefully.
So like, you know, week 15, he's home against Baltimore. Baltimore, they have a shitty secondary, but they have one of the best defensive lines that get to the quarterback. They have one of the highest pressure rate.
So exactly.
Which quarterback is going to be able to handle that Ravens pressure rate? You know what I'm saying?
I really like the Atlanta one because, you know, they couldn't sack anybody for a long time. But yeah, Baltimore, you're correct, Jason.
Yeah.
And then Ladd, Jason, listen, I told you I'm already gonna get a Brock Bowers rookie card because that's my best pick of my year. And then hey, I'm gonna trade that. I'm gonna remember that Ladd McConkey week, Jason. I traded everything for Ladd McConkey. 2 terrible players. I got Ladd McConkey on my team. He performed. I'm gonna get a Ladd McConkey rookie card as well. Guess what? He's got one of the best schedules. At home versus Tampa Bay, that's amazing. And then you cannot start him. I don't know if you can. I mean, I forget how he did against Denver. We'll have to go back and look. I don't think he did anything. I think he got like 5 receptions for like 60 yards or something. Maybe a flex against Denver. And then at New England, Jason, they can't stop anything. So 2 amazing matchups for Ladd McConkey. If he's fucking healthy.
Yeah, if he's healthy, that's right. It's gonna be hard not to even play him against Denver.
Oh, I know.
I know you don't want to. I know you don't want to play him, but I feel like he's gonna go on a hot streak if he's healthy.
Dude. I hope to God I make playoffs, Jason, because if I do, Ladd McConkey's gonna help me out so much. And then Jason, on to the worst schedules. Again, Fantasy Pros had this guy as like the 5th best schedule. All right. Brian Thomas Jr. I looked at it and it was like the Jets, Las Vegas, Tennessee. What are you talking about? So yeah, Jets, 2nd worst matchup. Las Vegas, you can run on them. You can't really pass on them. And then Tennessee, man, they've been good against the pass all season long. So yeah, terrible matchups for Brian Thomas, whatever. But you saw he only needs 1 play. But again, I would not want to be starting him against the Jets and maybe not against Tennessee.
Yeah, if you have to, he's going to be a flex because you're hoping for that 1 big play. Hoping.
Yeah, and Jason, you wanted some big names. What about this, motherfucker? Jamar Chase at Tennessee. That's terrible. At home versus Cleveland, great. But Jason, in the fantasy championships, the best wide receiver in the league has to go against Patrick Surtain. How do you feel about that?
Jamar Chase grew up playing PS2, man. Ain't no thing.
Fuck is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. I was trying to do play on words because Patrick Surtain, the 2nd PS2, he played PS2.
Oh my God. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I was missing something.
I mean, he in a game like this, Jamar Chase he's a big play guy. So it's like, you're putting Brian Thomas Jr. hoping for at least get a big play. I think you're gonna do the same with Jamar Chase, but I mean he's gonna be in your number 1 slot in that championship week.
It's crazy shit, dude. Worst possible scenario for a Chase owner.
Yep.
And then hey, CeeDee Lamb, man. So at Carolina, they give up the 21st amount, Jason, to wide receivers. So they're actually pretty good against wide receivers. Tampa Bay, you can pass all day. But then they get at Philadelphia, Jason. That is going to be a bloodbath of a game for CeeDee Lamb, probably. So the cornerbacks, dude, they've been, except for that game against the Rams, they've been amazing. So yeah, CeeDee Lamb, Jason, terrible matchups. Ooh, shit.
Well, he's going to get the targets, though.
And that's what you're chasing.
Yep.
All right, Jason, real fast, tight ends. All right, so the Saints, they have the best matchups. Las Vegas 3, Green Bay 9. But again, I had Taysom Hill here, and then I remembered he was fucking injured. So whatever. But nobody really stands out. No amazing matchups really in the tight ends as far as that goes. Everybody's kind of middle of the pack. Hawkinson has decent matchups. Muth, Jason, does get at Baltimore and versus Kansas City in week 16, 17. He was actually on Fantasy Pros one of their worst schedules or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? So Kansas City and Baltimore, I love tight ends going against them.
Yeah, he didn't do anything last time he went against Baltimore.
Well, there you go.
He got
those matchups usually suck bad. You're right. Pittsburgh and Baltimore, especially with Lamar Jackson, are pretty terrible. And then Jason, George Kittle, as far as bad matchups, he gets the Rams. And he gets the Miami Dolphins. You're like, what's the problem? He gets the best defense against tight ends, Jason. The Detroit Lions in the championship week. So I put him on here. Because tight ends, I was having a hard time finding people with bad schedules and tight ends. I saw him playoffs in the championship week, and I was like, well, fuck. Got to put him on there.
I still think he'll be 2nd in targets at least.
I still believe, he's their number. I know. He's just like the primary target and their red zone target, which is huge.
Yeah.
And then Hunter Henry, Jason, he just got 9 targets. He gets at Arizona, which is a bad matchup, at Buffalo, which is not great, and then at home versus the Chargers, which is a bad matchup as well. He has one of the worst playoff schedules for tight ends. And then lastly, Jason Kincaid, if he's healthy, at Detroit. So the first week of playoffs, he gets Detroit. It's fucking terrible. New England, and then the Jets, which is one of the worst matchups as well. So Kittle, Henry, and Kincaid as far as bad matchups on tight ends.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's really trustworthy or believe in trusting Kincaid anymore. This has been a down season for all the hype he got in the offseason. Tyler, you said it. You're like, why the hell are people after Kincaid? It doesn't make any sense. Henry's a beast, but
really, I'm really good at calling out busts, Jason, but then, I believe in people. I said the like DJ Moore, but hey, at least DJ Moore is doing better, man.
Yeah. Henry, it could be Henry or it could be Austin Hooper. That's a bad thing about that.
That's true. But yeah, Henry's been like one of the most targeted tight ends. He's been amazing for like 4 or 5 weeks. So it's kind of a big deal with that shitty matchup.
I think Hooper even had a touchdown this week.
I think he did, Jason. All right, guys. Hit us up if you know of any more bad or good schedules for championship or for fantasy football playoffs, dog. Sorry, I just spoke too much. I need a drink of water. Let's see. Stop sharing. All right, Mr. Jason, we're back in business. Let's do the smashes and crashes. Let's start off with the crashes so we can end with some positivity around here, Jason.
Okay.
First crash. We had this guy as a fucking start, dude. Ladd McConkey, we love. But yeah, this guy surprisingly didn't do shit against Atlanta, dude. So Justin Herbert.
Yeah. Remember, Tyler, I went back to actually look to see who my plays and pauses were on the week. This guy was my play. He finished with 7 points, 16 for 23, 0 touchdowns for 147 yards and no interceptions, 69 completion percentage. That's 11 above expectations. His 7.1 air yards intended air yards was about average for the week. But this is his lowest score of the season. He only threw 23 times. This is back-to-back weeks with high expectations because of the defenses were ranked inside the top 7 for quarterback scoring, but he failed to score a passing touchdown in both games. Next week, he faces the Chiefs, who are ranked 9th in quarterback scoring. And when Herbert played them in week 4, he scored 11 points. Might need to stream him because of the buys, but I won't.
So Justin Herbert's 8 standard points against the Falcons this week was a season low for him. He had just 1 rushing yard, Jason, when his previous 3 games saw him with 32, 65, and 29 rushing yards. So that took away his floor. And yeah, dude. So Justin Herbert, Jason, losing Ladd McConkey, he needs weapons. They need to draft fucking somebody. I would say that I wish they would have kept Keenan Allen, but I think it's actually better for Ladd McConkey that they didn't. So, yeah, Justin Herbert next year, weapons. I want one.
You know what I've been noticing too is like these games where Justin Herbert has a great game is when Quentin Johnson has a long touchdown. And when
if he's not doing that, and that was the reg, dude. He was like, I would say he was like Westbrook or whatever. He whenever he played, he got touchdowns. That has not been the case.
Yeah, he's definitely cooled off.
Cool, man. All right, Jason, this was sad.
Hey,
Chuba.
1 second, Tyler. Do you know when Ladd McConkey went out of the game? What?
I was trying to pay attention to that. It was I want to say it was the 3rd quarter.
Okay, I was just curious.
There's a small. I think there might have been I think it might have been in the 4th quarter because I was doing I was doing the show, and I was typing up all my stuff. And then I just finally saw it on Reddit, but it was like 30 minutes old. So the game was still going. So it was either 3rd or 4th quarter.
Okay.
I did notice how he got 12 targets, and then all of a sudden he got no targets. And I was like, what the fuck's going on here? I need these points.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was so happy though, dude. Hey, best trade I've ever made, man. Get rid of Debo and ETN. Get me some Ladd McConkey. Oh, sometimes you just got to overpay, dude. Sometimes you just got to overpay to get what you want. If you believe, Jason. Hey, next up, Chuba Hubbard, Jason. I thought this was kind of sad. So,
yeah,
Chuba Hubbard owners were trying to ride him till the wheels fell off, and now he's got competition in the passing game. I don't even think he got. I don't even know if he caught any passes, Jason. But I did notice when I was looking at it. I'm a Jonathan Brooks owner. Yeah, Jonathan Brooks was getting all the passes.
Yeah, this was sad seeing him in the. He was like the last one on the field forever because. He knew he fudged up. But I like Chuba Hubbard. Anyway, he finished with 2 points, 12 carries, 43 yards, 0 touchdowns, but no targets. And he also had a fumble loss. This game, Hubbard saw his fewest opportunities since week 1. First time he didn't see a target since week 7. The Buccaneers allow 4.6 yards per carry, but Hubbard saw 8 men in the box 66% of the time. That was the most by any running back in week 13. The Buccaneers were determined to stop the run, and they did. Moving forward, I expect Hubbard to bust next week with a bad matchup versus the Eagles, but is home versus the Cowboys, who allow the 4th most points to running backs in week 15.
Yeah, Jason, it's like Saquon Barkley on the fucking Giants, man. They're just lining them up. 8-man boxes.
66, dude. I don't know if I ever saw that before.
It's crazy. And then, hey, dude, I do want to say, so Jonathan Brooks had 3 targets. Chuba had 0, whatever. But Chuba did run 32 routes, and Jonathan Brooks only ran 6. So there is still hope for Chuba. As Jonathan Brooks owner, I don't know why I haven't fucking drafted your ass, dude. You should tell me how injured you are. I take it back, man. I knew what was wrong with you. I just drafted you anyways. All right, Jason. Crash Cooper Kupp, man, and you and I both had him ranked in what top 5 or 6 this week.
Yeah.
So this was a huge disappointment.
Hey, man.
Especially me. I mean, I started Stafford. I needed points, but did not get them.
Hey, man, Puka Nacua. We had pretty high and back-to-back, really.
All
right, well, Cooper Kupp, he finished with 4 points. 3 receptions, 17 yards on 0 touchdowns on 6 targets. He was still second in the team for targets behind Puka Nacua. Now, I didn't watch the game, Tyler, but Stafford only had 14 completions. Kupp still had 25% target share against a defense that allows the 4th most receiving yards to wide receivers. I feel like this is a missed opportunity game for Cooper Kupp. Next, he plays against Buffalo, and that's another very bad matchup. And then at San Francisco, which isn't a great matchup either, because both teams have a great slot cornerback.
Jason, sorry, I'm just looking at this. Javonte Williams has 4 rushes for 1 yard and a touchdown.
Yeah, did you see the other guy, like Burton? Michael Burton got the other touchdown?
So wait, no. How did the Denver get the other? Oh, it was Michael Burton. I got you. Jeez, dude. Running back situation's so fucked over there. All right, man. I'm glad Njoku got his touchdown at least. All right, man. And then let's see. So we just went over Kupp. I will say that Cooper Kupp scored 4.7 PPR points against Saints, season low. He did still have a 26% target share. I like that. 26% target share. Target share with Cooper Kupp, I'd say you got 25 PPR points, but that is not the case. Mason, lastly, we talked about this guy earlier. Kyle Pitts, bust. He is just a bust, dog. So Kyle Pitts, crash.
Yeah. 0 reception on 2 targets. Tyler, he's averaging 3 points per game since week 8. 3 targets a game and 2 receptions a game. But his last 4 games have been against teams top 12 and toughest matchups for tight ends. Next week, he plays Minnesota, who ranks 16th in tight end scoring, and that is his best matchup since week 8 versus the Buccaneers. I don't know. Do we finally see a bounce back from him this week? Last 4 weeks has been tough after tough after tough matchup. Now he gets a better matchup. Kind of Minnesota is like in the middle of the pack for tight end scoring. Maybe he can finally produce. I don't know. Only 2 targets, dude. But then again, Kirk Cousins, he had like 4 interceptions.
That's a 5% target share, Jason. That's nothing to sneeze at. Yeah, but like over his last 4 games, 2 points, 9 points, 1 point, 0 points.
Average 3 points per game.
Yeah, I would literally drop his ass if I owned him, Jason. Just
even against Minnesota next week.
What'd you say?
Even against Minnesota next week.
Yeah, fuck him. I don't want to start this guy.
Okay.
All right, Jason. Let's move on to this guy because I called this, Jason. I was like, this AFC. Usually, you do not want AFC divisional games, man. You don't want it. And of course, everybody I was going against, Jason, I was going against Chase Brown and fucking Jamar Chase and all this bullshit. I knew it was going to be a shootout. I didn't know it was going to be that big of a shootout. All right, so that sucked. Good for everybody else. Sucked for me. Russell Wilson, Jason, 400 yards.
Oh my gosh, dude! I wish you told me you knew it was going to be a shootout.
I was saying it on the live show. I was saying it during when I was all drunk.
I always hear AFC North games are always close and low scoring.
Yeah, but not with Joe Burrow.
Russell Wilson, he finished with 27 points, 29 completions, 38 attempts, 3 touchdowns for 414 yards and 1 interception. He had a 76 completion percentage. That's 7.7 above expectation. His intended air yards was 5.1. That's the shortest distance of the week, Tyler, which is crazy. but he had the third and longest completion air distance at 47 yards. So it was like he was going short all the time, and then he would bomb it. He had 11 completions behind the line of scrimmage, which is crazy, and then 6 completions of 10 plus yards. He shredded the Bengals defense, man. And the Bengals allow the third most points to quarterbacks. They've given up the fourth most total touchdowns to quarterbacks. This is Wilson's highest score of the season. Next week might be different, though. They play the Browns, who are ranked 18th in quarterback scoring. They are home, and then they're at Philadelphia, and then out Baltimore.
I was also going against George Pickens in this game, Jason. That was great. And I do want to say this, that I didn't really have anything written down for Russ, but I did see a stat about George Pickens. So Russ threw for 400 yards, and this is with George Pickens having his lowest target share by far of all the games they have played together. So I thought that was kind of interesting. He spread the ball around a lot more. Calvin Austin's his fucking second wide receiver, I'm pretty sure, and he only caught like 2 balls.
Well, this next one's even worse.
All right, Jason. Smash. Najee Harris. I thought Cordero Patterson was going to be the pickup of the week for a minute, Jason.
Najee Harris finished with 24 points. This guy was my confident pause of the week. 16 rushes for 75 yards, 1 touchdown, a 4.7 yards per carry, and 6 receptions for 54 yards on 6 targets. He was second on the team in targets. His rushing yards over expected per attempt was 1.56. That was top 10 in week 13. He had a great day rushing. Last 3 games for him, though, were shit. And then he plays the Bengals this week, who allowed 4.1 yards per carry and ranked 15th at running back scoring, and he puts up his best game of the season while the Steelers scored 44 points. And Warren, he was nowhere to be found after a dominating week last week. So Harris's schedule, it doesn't get any better. He has another division game versus the Browns, who rank 26th on RB scoring. Then at Philly, Tyler, who ranks 28th in RB scoring. And then he's home versus Baltimore, who ranks 24th in RB scoring. So I feel like if you're going to continue to play this guy, you're going to be rolling the dice because he has bad matchups and he's been really inconsistent for most of the year.
Jason, remember, and when Myles Garrett is going against Pittsburgh right now, he's all pumped up because TJ Watt, you think TJ Watt's the best player?
I'll show you.
Dude, he was killing the run that game. I was like, oh my God.
And I want to share this real quick. So in week 12, Jaylen Warren led the way with a snap share of 57%, and Najee Harris had 40%. Then we go to week 13, and Jaylen Warren had a 38% snap share, and Harris had a 50% snap share. So flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop.
Well, and Jason, the important thing here is that he had a 73% running back rushing share. So, out of all he had 73% of the rushing opportunities, and that was the highest he's had since week 1. So that's why he did so well. He actually got to run the ball the majority of the time out of all the running backs.
And then you know what Jaylen Warren had? He had a 12%.
Oh, fuck, dude. And then I thought Cordell Patterson was going to kill it, Jason. Come on. I don't know why they gave him the ball so much in the first, 3 drives. I was like, holy shit. And there we go, Jason. Next up, we got Scary Terry. When he goes off, he goes off.
Yeah, Terry McLaurin finished with 27 points, 8 receptions, 73 yards, 2 touchdowns on 8 targets. He led the team in targets. His targeted air yards is 7, which is below his season average. It was because 6 of his 8 receptions were within 9 yards. The Titans allowed the third fewest receptions to tight ends, or fewest receptions and touchdowns to wide receivers. So this was supposed to be a tough matchup for him. He's on a bye next week. Then he's at the Saints. He can do well versus the Saints, but week 16 he faces the Eagles again, who forced him into his lowest production of the season in week 11. So he's on a bye. Then he's got a good matchup, and then he's got a real shitty matchup again.
Watching this game, Jason, and the Broncos just scored a defensive touchdown. I started the Broncos in our listener league, thank God. Going against Carter Mario, who's got the best team in the world.
Interception?
I think it is. Yeah. Yes. I thought it was interception. All right, Jason. And then, hey, man. Oh, yeah, Terry. 27% target share in week 13 was his highest since week 5. He's been getting out-targeted by Noah Brown, dude, for I mean, you see all the stats. He has not been hyper targeted. He's literally only been catching touchdowns, and this week he got both. So that's why he's on the smash, Jason. And then, hey, Bowers, man, I am a Bowers believer. All right, I'm never going to be able to draft him again because God knows I'm probably not going to be drafting a fucking tight end in the first 2 rounds ever. So it was a good night, sweet prince for me and Bowers, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, Jason, 31 points for me. I think he scored.
Let me see. Yep. He finished with 31 points, 10 receptions, 140 yards, 1 touchdown with 14 targets. He led the team in targets. His targeted air yards was 7.2, which is 6th most for tight end. So he was targeted downfield more than most tight ends this week. That's because the Chiefs allowed the most receiving yards to tight ends, and they continue to be a top 5 in tight end scoring. So it was a good matchup for him. Where do I got here? Bowers is tight end 1 on the season with 2 30-point games in 2 of the last 3 weeks. That's amazing. And it keeps getting better, Tyler. Next week he's at Tampa, who allow the 4th most receiving yards at tight ends. So I expect another game targeted downfield and probably another 30-point game coming with him. Tyler, there's 2 things I've come to realize with Brock Bowers, okay? I have 2 things here I want to share with you. Don't ever touch my Percocet, and do you have any Percocet?
Yeah, don't. Hey, you don't ever fucking touch my Percocet. Do you have any fucking Percocet? Hey, if you haven't watched a movie called, is it called Goon, right?
Yeah.
The hockey enforcer movie. Go check it out. I think it's on Netflix. I don't have Netflix, but go check it out.
No, really, he's a great tight end, and he's going to get the targets. He's going to get the goddamn targets. So,
well, yeah, and like when you watch him, he looks like Laporta was awesome last year, but he was just catching touchdowns. He was always open. It's like Brock Bowers is doing crazy shit out here. Like he actually looks like he's just fucking different. So I do like Brock Bowers, but Jason, would you draft him in the 1st or 2nd round next year?
Absolutely not. No.
Would you ever draft a tight end in the 1st or 2nd round again?
No, absolutely
maybe
not.
I think maybe 4th round's the highest I'd go. Because 4th round's when I start taking risks.
Yep, I agree. Yeah. Did you say? I think you said he's 3 catches away for breaking the tight end reception record, rookie reception record.
Yeah, I think I said that after. Yeah, because that was an early game, so I'm pretty sure you're right. I think we said that on the live Friday show. Hey, anyways, that is the show. Let us know if you have any smashes or crashes of your own down below, man. It's a good therapy if you write it out, okay? Hopefully we earned a thumbs up. Hopefully we earned a subscription. We need subscribers. We need thumbs up. If you give us a thumbs up, it actually gives us a better possibility to go out to see more people. That's exactly what the show needs, man. We just need exposure. We just need people to see us. Hopefully they like us. Hopefully they just subscribe to us. We have got more shit coming out, Jason. Please send us out.
Yes, so watch this video, and then the next day you're getting the infamous wide receiver versus quarterback cheat cornerback. Am I not saying cornerback?
I felt like you said quarterback, and I was like, wide receiver versus quarterback. That would be interesting.
I would like that cheat sheet. That would be a pretty good one too. Wide receiver versus cornerback cheat sheet for week 13. Make sure you watch it. It is week 13,
Neighbors would be the thumbnail for it.
What's going to be the thumbnail?
Malik Neighbors would be the thumbnail for that.
Ooh. And then after that, on Thursday, we got our player pause, and we got our live video on Friday. Make sure to check that out so you can go in the chat, ask us questions, we answer. I will talk to you in those videos. Deuces.
This is the Fantasy Red Zone, and we appreciate